This is landmark episode 175 of Beer Sports Whatever. I had to bring in the big guns. All right, the big dogs, NFL Network. Okay, but before you were on NFL Network, Mr. Wolfe, you're a University of Houston Cougar, which is pretty cool. Absolutely. We welcome Cameron Wolfe of the NFL Network here. Beer Sports Whatever. Cameron, how are you? Glad to have you here.
I'm awesome, man. Doing great. Go Cougs.
Oh, it's not even a minute into the show. We're dropping Go Cougs. I feel like, okay, congrats. Like NFL Network, no big deal. But we're going to talk all things University of Houston probably throughout the show. We can talk about the lineage, absolutely. Best logo in college sports, I would say, by far.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, man, look, big wins this year across the board. Basketball, football, ever since moving away from the city of Houston, because that's where you went for your undergrad. Do you follow University of Houston? Do you keep up with them? You know, where
absolutely.
Are you at landscape-wise?
All the time. My bosses know when they won their game, their 11th game this year. He gave me a shout out on Twitter. He knows what's going on. Tournament time. I told everybody to put the Cougs in their Final Four last year. People thought I was just a homer, and I probably was a homer, but I ended up being right. How
awesome is that? I mean, it's a good time, man. But here's the thing. So I graduated in 2013. These kids now are spoiled.
Yeah.
Okay. These Cougars, they've got all these restaurants and all this, Pink's Pizza and all this stuff. I remember the days there was McAllister's.
Yep.
It was a long shot if Wendy's was going to be open.
Right.
Or you were venturing over to China Star.
China Star was my spot.
Oh,
there.
Oh,
that's where at least 90% of my Cougar cast went to China Star, which I think is actually like Chinese Star, but we all called it China Star.
Yeah. Oh my God, you get to Cougar Cash you get to buy beer.
Yeah.
Mom, I did not do that, I promise. But a General Tso's chicken platter with a hot and sour, some white rice. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good price. You get like $7 or $8.
Oh.
McAllister's Deli was so delicious. I literally had not had McAllister's since Houston until about 2 months ago. Found one here in Miami just randomly. And so I told the wife, and we had to go get some McAllister. So
let me tell you something. Chicken Caesar wrap with a large sweet tea, macaroni and cheese.
Oh, man, the mac and cheese.
Oh, it was sick.
Yeah, if you wanted to get really healthy, quote unquote, you could do the half and half, do like a half wrap, half salad. Deal. You can mix it up.
Oh yeah, we're going to McAllister's to be healthy. Get out of here. Okay, so the NFL. I don't know how you cover this for a living because there's so many things going on. There's a lot of moving pieces. I guess my first question is: has it ever been more difficult to be a head coach in the NFL than in 2022?
Man, no, not at all. You get fired not for losing games, just because people don't like you, as Brian Flores found out. Well, the Dolphins fan, it's a different landscape, man. I think it's a different era. Players are different. Expectations are different. It seems like every year there's like 8 coach openings. Like, what other job? Like, there's 25% turnover in every single year. Yeah. Like, that's the NFL.
As a Dolphins fan, and you spent, a good amount of time in Miami. First of all, the Miami Dolphin fan base, we're a different breed, I feel like.
Yeah.
We got a little craziness to us. Don't go to Twitter after a loss, after a win. Half the fan base wants the guy gone. Half the fan base doesn't. I mean, what was your take covering the Dolphins? Like
I've covered the Dolphins for 4 years now. Yeah. For ESPN, now for NFL Network. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you. Dolphins fans are probably the most pessimistic fan base I have been around. It's like no hope. There's initial hope, and then it dissipates very quickly in the fan base's eyes. I think, and I understand the pain. I've learned the pain when all the good days are the Marino era, the Shula era, 30, 40 years ago. You get to the expectation of it's never going to happen for me. So I think there's always the expectation they're waiting to be let down. And, there's hope that this year will be different, but they're waiting for that moment. And so that's how it feels like covering this team because, like you said, everybody was all in on Tua. There was like a joy. That was the highest moment I've ever covered the Dolphins. Now it's a period where every day on Twitter, it's, you either hate Tua, you love him. Flores was great. Flores was bad. It's just constant arguments over who's right.
I don't even it's the most dysfunctional relationship I've ever had in my entire life is being a Dolphins fan.
Right.
And I hate that. I'm like, I got a Tua jersey in the closet. Do I wear it? Do I not wear it? Am I a Flores fan? Am I not a Flores fan? Do I hate the owner? Do I not? What am I supposed to do? Like, he's the owner. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but because everybody else tells me to, I hate him. The fact is, the greatest thing the Dolphins have done in my lifetime, 31 years, is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. This is not good, Cam. We are not in a good spot.
Not at all. Not at all. And I wish I had more hope for you. I don't have any more hope to sell. I'm in wait and see period. I don't really have a lot of optimism that this all of a sudden next year is going to be great. I think we just got to wait and see. I think it's interesting. I'm curious your thoughts, because obviously you said you have a Tua jersey. Tua non. The whole idea of that has been interesting to cover, because no matter what you say about Tua, there's going to be a visceral reaction on social media. I've never seen anything like it, probably since Tim Tebow was a quarterback here, where he has such a drastic difference in fan bases, whether it's the Dolphins fan or whether you're just an outsider who doesn't believe. And if you're an outsider who doesn't believe, you better believe they're going to let you feel it, and it's not going to be pretty.
I got people who aren't even football fans at work that give me a hard time about Tua. I'm like, you don't even like football. Why are you coming at me? I didn't do anything to you. Just have a good day at work.
Right.
We do have an audience question. What are your thoughts on Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson in Chicago? Ooh, I like it.
Man, I love this time of period, particularly in this era, because quarterback sweepstakes are sort of the season. Last year, Matt Stafford was the big trade. Watson was bubbling the whole offseason. It didn't happen. Russell had his run. This year, I think it's going to load up again. I think that Russell is probably going to be more unhappy than ever and miss the playoffs. Does he make the demand, though? He's a nice guy in nature. Sometimes the nice guys try to go the back channel way and have their agent put it out. If you're a quarterback and you want out under contract, you got to put your name on it. Do like Deshaun Watson did and say, hey, I'm not coming back. So I think what's going to be interesting to watch for Chicago, the guy we just talked about, Brian Flores, is interviewed for that job. He has a really good relationship, or a really good affinity for Deshaun Watson, and that's a part of the reason why Miami was in the market for so long. Does he entice Deshaun to want to go wherever he goes? That's a storyline I think that's going to be interesting to watch this offseason, because Flores is getting some love in Houston. He's getting some love in Chicago. He's getting some love with the New York Giants. And all three of those teams could use a Watson. So I think that's going to be an element where Flores goes could be where Watson goes. And then as far as Russell Wilson, I think that he and Pete Carroll need a new start. It's you talk about relationships. This is a couple that's sticking together for the kids. They've been together. They've been together for 12 years. They had some good times. They won a Super Bowl, but they're just sticking together for the kids. Somebody just needs to just have that divorce happen. Nobody wants to be the official bad guy, but somebody's got to be the bad guy. And I'd love to see Russ in Chicago. I think that's a place where that's another team like the Dolphins that has been desperately trying to find a quarterback for years and years and years. Why not fix it all? Send Russ to Chicago, and give them a quarterback.
Couple of thoughts on that. Number one, as a Dolphins fan, I didn't appreciate all of the sweater vest, if you will, combinations from Brian Flores on the field. Not sweater vest. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
like
the long sleeve.
Yep.
I didn't like that, man. I don't like that in my head coach. Okay, I don't like it. Okay.
So what's your head coach attire? What do you like?
Suit and tie and a fedora.
I will tell you, as someone who lives in Miami and does a lot of TV in Miami, it is very hot. And it is difficult to wear a suit. I do it because it's my job. I go on TV. But I'm telling you, it's 95 degrees on that field with a suit and tie. And I feel it all. I'm sweating,
Well, just understand something, okay? It was a little awkward he was always so serious. Like, you're a head coach. Have some
very
fun.
Serious.
The second part of what I would like addressed about Russell Wilson is I feel like his wife does not get enough love in the music game for her contributions.
Yeah.
Okay. Once You Step, fire.
Yep.
Okay. Her feature on Lose Control from Missy Elliott, fire.
Yep.
I just want it out there that everyone wants to talk about Russ. He like Sierra gets pushed to the back too much in that relationship, and I'm not about it.
I'd argue that Sierra is actually the most popular of the two. Obviously we're in football, so we know Russ. But if you ask the average person on the street, they're going to know Sierra more than you know Russell Wilson. So, like you mentioned, she's been 15 years? She's probably been a music star.
No, she's in the game.
And I think that, even like there's a whole element of, if you get into social media, the whole element of her and her relationship with Future and how music has just been constantly evolving in Russell Wilson's life, whether it's them or not. So, yeah, I'm with you. Sierra's definitely like, you got the Beyoncé's, you got the Rihanna, but Sierra's right there in this era as maybe top 3 or 4 R&B artists, the last 20 or so years, in my opinion. Maybe it's a hot take, but I think she's up there.
Goodies, Courtney points out, fire.
Yep.
No, like
a boy, is another
he
one.
He went to the most boring college in America. It's no disrespect to Wisconsin. Congrats. You do jump around at the end of the third quarter. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, University of Houston. Okay, we got live Cougars walking around. We have the most fire chant. I don't care what anybody says.
Yep.
Womp Womp.
Yep.
Honestly, one of the greatest anthems of our generation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm just throwing that out there. Alex wants to know, who's the first team to hire a new head coach with a vacancy? If you had to put your stamp on it, who's the first one to hire a coach?
Alex, that's a really good question. Of all the teams, I mean, the Jaguars have had that opening for a long time. So, they should be the first team to hire a coach because they've had a lot of time to figure it out. I think that Byron Leftwich ends up getting hired in Jacksonville. If I had a guess, I think they're the first team to make a hire, and I could see them doing it, by the end of this weekend.
Ooh, I like it.
But the problem is Byron Leftwich is still in the playoffs, so it may be one of those deals where it's agreed in principle, not official. So, I think that deal could be the first one. I know the Dolphins are still going to be interviewing people throughout the week, maybe into next week. The Giants have to hire a GM first.
Yep.
The Bears also have to hire a GM. Vegas just decided to tell all of his people that they're firing their GM yesterday. I tweeted about this the other day, but there are people in the building, the Raiders building, who did not know that the GM was getting fired until they saw it on Twitter. And so they're working on off-season prep, free agency. And I texted one of the guys. I'm like, hey, they're sending interview requests out for like 3 different GMs. And he's like, what? We're in here working. Mayock doesn't know he's fired. He's in the spot right next to me working too. I'm like, oh, dang, I hate to be delivering this news, but yeah.
What's the meme where it's like the guy goes, I'm gone. We got a bunch of people. Who do I want to hire for the Dolphins? That's interesting. Before I get to that though, Cam, I want to know, are you a fan or not a fan of bringing back the live dolphin in the tank at the games? Would you like to see that?
I'm always a fan of live mascots. So I'm not mascots have a love-hate relationship with. There's some who do it great. Obviously Shasta is a top tier mascot. You can't
number one.
Right. I'm a Philadelphia sports fan by nature. The Phillies Fanatic is my favorite pro sports mascot. I think is awesome because there's part of it you have no idea what it is. It's just a
Come on, man. Come on. There's no way that's your favorite mascot in sports. There's zero chance. I don't believe it. I love curtain back. No, there's no way.
I love the Phillies Fanatic. But I love the real mascot. And I want a mascot that actually does something. Like I was watching the national title game. They always show Uga on the sideline, this big dog who just sits there, the Georgia Bulldog. And he just sits there. He's a big 300-pound old dog, and I'm sure that they love this dog. But I want my mascot to be moving. So put a dolphin in the tank, have him jumping up, doing tricks during games. Let's make a whole show out of it. I'm with it. Let's embrace the full dolphin nature.
Okay. Well, the news.
And I will tell you, because my wife always mentions this to me, and I'm sure you know as a dolphin fan, dolphins are mammals, not fish. So they always mention on the broadcast the fish, right? That's the nickname for the Dolphins. And she gets upset about that because they're they're mammals, not fish, apparently. So they've got to pick a lane. They can't have the fish as a nickname if they want to be accurate and really dive into the dolphin moniker.
So what are you calling for here? Do you want, what are we, the mammal? We're the mammals now? The fish? We can't be the fish.
You can't be the fish. You can be the fins.
Cam,
you can't be the fish.
Listen.
So you can't be the fish. It's not a fish.
Listen, you come back. So you come on here for episode 175. All right. You're telling me I can't have my mascot. My team sucks. We don't have a coach. Look, man, I don't like it. All right.
You want me to lie to you, Mike? You want me to lie to you?
No, I don't want you to lie to me. I want you to lie to me about some stuff. Down here in Houston, do you have a take, right? Because I listened to an interview this morning of Nick Caserio.
Yeah.
There's a lot of word vomit going on down here in Houston right now.
Yep.
You ever been in an interview or listened to somebody talk and you're just like, dude, shut up. Like, yes, we get it. Okay. Yes. It's a process. We understand it. We know you're hiring a head coach. I get it. We understand it. Without going too much into it, like, did you ever, being in the media, just want to bang your head against the table and say, can you just, like, sometimes less is more?
Right. All the time. We joke about it in the media because there's like cliche those hot button topics that coaches and GMs love to hit. Coaches love one day at a time. You know, they love, that's the go-to one. Brian Flores loves that one. We'll see. It's always little button topics where they hit that button. Whenever you ask a tough question, it's always we'll handle that when it comes to us, or something that means nothing. There's always a phrase, and some coaches and players are really great about it because they're very charismatic. They'll have a smile, they'll laugh. You'll go back and look at what they said, and you're like, they didn't say anything. They said nothing at all.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a lot of times in the media that I'm like, why are you talking just to talk? It feels like a filibuster. It feels like they're just on the Senate floor saying, hey, I've got 10 minutes with these dudes. Let me spend 7 just blabbering, and then they can't get to anything real.
I'm listening to the interview this morning, and as a Texans fan, I feel for the Texans, man. I mean, you were here in Houston, right?
Yep.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough listening, hey, what are you looking for in the next head coach? Well, there's a process, okay? It's a process, one day at a time. We're conducting the interviews. Yes, okay. I assume you're conducting interviews. I'm glad you're looking for a coach. It's tough. It's a tough situation right now for a lot of fan bases out there.
Right. And Houston in particular, man, this has been a rough year for the Texans. Whoa. Boy, from Deshaun Watson and how they handled that terribly, coming off,
okay, you brought it up. I didn't know if I could go there. I wanted you to segue it. Okay, all right, we're there.
Yeah,
terrible. Okay, that's
they handled it terribly, and you're in a situation where you fired David Culley. He was sort of the fall guy because he gets brought in with a situation where you're not going to have your star quarterback. You have a roster that's probably the worst roster in the league. He somehow wins 4 games, which is 3.5 more games than I thought they were going to win, given that roster, and he gets canned. So I just think it's an organization that has a lot of issues right now. So every time I hear Nick Caserio talk, I'm just thinking about how secretly they're screwing everything up. So I don't know how it's going to end up. Maybe Brian Flores goes there. There's a lot of Patriot connection there. Nick Caserio, Jack Easterby, which is a whole nother issue throughout the league.
Okay. Does Jack Easterby not look like the guy from the Six Flags commercials?
Oh,
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Props to David Culley, man. $22 million for 1 year. I'd love to get fired that way.
Like, what is he doing right now?
I mean, guys like 65. Honestly, I don't want to call anybody's career.
Yeah. No, what's he doing?
I would retire. I'd retire. Like,
no, I'm talking about like right now, 5:25 Central Time. You're getting bank. What do you think? There's no way he's not sipping on a cocktail, right?
Somewhere absolutely.
He's got we're on the same page. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's same way as me. He's probably got some fancier bourbon, a lot more expensive bourbon, and he's got his feet up on his table.
So cheers, Yingling.
He's
Yingling.
He's living right. Yeah.
So he's
David Culley's walking around wherever he lives.
Okay.
With a big smile. Big smile.
So he's got, I'm just trying to figure this out, right? Because I'm pretty sure he said he's got kids, and I think he's got grandkids, he said before.
Yeah.
He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt with at least 2 buttons down.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got the khaki shorts. He might have the pockets down the side. He's wearing some sort of either flip-flop or sandal.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the sun hat, and he's just enjoying life.
Sunglasses on, even inside.
Ooh!
What is it? It's 5:30. It's about to be sunset out there in Houston. If he's still in Houston, he's got sunglasses on, chilling in his living room with all the attire you just described, just chilling.
He's got the lamp, possibly reading a book, if you will, some sort of a novel, if you will, about to enjoy the sunset. Is Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay next year? From a Bears fan.
I actually think that he will be in Green Bay next year, because I think that the Packers get to the Super Bowl and potentially, and I'll say potentially because I'll leave it as a teaser because I think we're going to talk Super Bowl picks and playoff picks later, but I think they could potentially win it all. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, and he's dropped a few hints this year about how the GM has made it a lot easier for him. They're doing what he's saying, essentially. They're signing the players he wants. They're including him in conversations. He feels like he's part of the loop. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're winning, things are going the way you want, I think that he decides to make it work. Now, they're going to have to figure out what to do with Jordan Love because he's running out of time on his rookie contract. But my prediction is that they make it work, give Aaron Rodgers a new contract, probably trade away Jordan Love, and he finishes his career in Green Bay.
Ooh, I like it. This would not shock me at all. Is the Texans head coaching job posted on Indeed?
In fact, I just applied for it today.
That honestly feels like the most Texans things ever, Cam. Like somebody just throws it out at a meeting and like, you know what? I like that idea. I like the process of doing that. Let's put it up there. Let's see what type of people there. That whole like Casario thing, if you've ever seen him do first of all, he's wide-eyed and it freaks me out. I don't understand people that are like, hey, okay, look, you do it. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you've ever seen him do an interview, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, we get it. You're excited. He's the guy, though, that I don't want to see at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Like if you call me in for a meeting, like a process meeting, and he's there, he's been there since 4 a.m. He's already worked out twice.
Yep.
And he wears a polo that's too small. Like, I don't know about you, but going back, like anytime I see a guy wearing a polo that's way too small, it's uncomfortable the older I get.
Yeah. It's got probably a little tear underneath there.
Oh my God. It started, and like he's doing the move like at the bar. He's always doing this. Yeah. He's like, hey man, can I get a bourbon and say, hey, what do you want? Oh, you want no, you're good? Okay, you're solid. All right, got it. All right, let's get to our picks. Who do you have going to the Super Bowl? Let's get right into it. Super Bowl picks. Cam Wolfe.
I've already teased the first one. I got the Packers coming out of NFC. I think it'll be the Packers and the Bucks next week. I think both of those teams win this week. You have the Bays facing off, Green Bay, Tampa Bay. And I think Aaron Rodgers gets Brady this time. That's going to be a phenomenal matchup. I'd imagine that's probably going to be the highest rated matchup we've had in a while since probably the Brady-Manning matchups. And I think it's going to be an epic game, but give me the Packers. I think they're getting healthy at the right time, and I think Aaron Rodgers has been just a tick better than Brady this year. And the Bucks are a little banged up, losing Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. Give me Rodgers and the Packers on the NFC side. And the AFC side, it's a lot of fun, man. I may surprise you with this pick here because there's a lot of
You're about to take my pick. You're about to take my pick. I know
there's a lot of fun quarterback matchups here in the AFC. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen this weekend. That's going to be a really, really fun matchup. But I think it's going to be the Titans who gets to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to beat the Bengals this weekend. As it is a sneaky game, they got to get past the Bengals who've been red hot. But give me the Titans. Derrick Henry is finally back. He's running the ball well. They don't have the best quarterback. They probably have the worst quarterback in the AFC playoff picture. But the way they play defensively, I think they steal it and run through and get to the Super Bowl.
Who wins?
I got the Packers winning the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers goes on his tour. He's going to show us his feet all the time. talk about the reason why he won a Super Bowl because he's not vaccinated, and that gave him the superpowers. So it's going to be a rough off season for us all, but I do think the Packers win.
Where does he go? Like, okay, so that's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, he's not going to Disney World. Like, where is he going to go?
Oh no, he's going to go on a Jeopardy tour. He's definitely going to go on Jeopardy.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna shock you with my pick. I'm gonna shock you.
I think I may know where you're going here.
I'm going out of the NFC. I'm going the Rams.
Wow.
The Rams, I'm telling you, man, they're sneaky. Okay, Sean McVay, talk about a guy who always wears a shirt that doesn't fit. I don't like that, all right? I don't like that at all. But they got some dudes on that team. I mean, you got Aaron Donald.
Yep.
Okay, now, you see this physique, right? Aaron Donald couldn't take me in a trench war, but I'm just throwing it out there that I'm taking the Rams in the NFC, and I'm going Cincinnati out of the NFC.
The Bengals. The Bengals.
Let me tell you something. There's not a guy I think I like more in professional sports than Joe Burrow. I love me some Joe Burrow.
Joe Cool.
Like, there's something about him, man. Like, he's likable.
He is.
You know? He's just like, find me something you don't like about Joe Burrow. The dude just slings it all over the field. I love Jamar Chase. I think he's unguardable. I like Joe Mixon coming out of the backfield. I think they've got a sneaky, decent defense. Force some turnovers.
They do.
Bengals, Rams. The NFL is going to hate this.
Hey, that would be a fun matchup, though. I love Joe Burrow. I actually have been doing a lot of Titans-Bengal coverage this week. So I actually was on the Zoom today with Joe Burrow. And listening to him break down, we talk about coaches who say nothing. Joe Burrow had a perfect answer for literally every question. And he was saying things like he was breaking it down. He was smooth. He's talking about his Cartier glasses that he wore in the post game conference the other day. And the same token, he's talking about how this is the new standard here in Cincinnati, how Bengals fans hadn't won a playoff game in 31 years, but he doesn't really care because this is just the first of every year they're going to win a playoff game. Like, you know how much confidence and swag you got to tell a franchise? Imagine if your quarterback came in here, Dolphins fan, who probably hasn't won a playoff, what has it been, 20 years?
Yeah, come on. Hey, fam. Hey, come on now. Hey, wait, we're on a good page right here. Don't do
but
the
that. Bengals,
don't do
31 days, they had the record for the longest playoff win drought. He's saying, don't worry about this one playoff win. This is the standard here. This is what we're going to do from now on. I love Joe Burrow. I think you're right. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback for a long time in this league. And I really like them. I actually would pick them in an upset if they weren't playing this Titans team. The one reason why I am going to pick the Titans this week is the Bengals actually got really banged up on their defensive front this past game. They lost one of their best run stuffers and defensive tackle. They lost his backup. So they're down 2 key defensive tackles, and they're running against a top-tier rushing offense that's getting back Derrick Henry. So I think that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to eat this weekend. I actually wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals pick the upset, but I do think the Titans get it done.
You know what happens when the coming Twitter, watch, okay? The Bengals coming for you. But he's just Joe Cool, man. He came from like Ed Orgeron, and I love me some Ed O.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he's saying half the time, but I love me some Ed Orgeron.
Right.
But my question is, if Brady wins it, right? I want to get your take on Brady. I hate Tom Brady. Okay. I hate the avocado ice cream. I hate the diet thing. His kids are, like perfect kid. Like, I get that. If he wins, does he call it a career? Or you think he's coming back next year? Because if he comes back, I quit. Cam, right. I'm telling you this right now. I'm already at the point now where I hate fantasy football. I'm never playing again. Okay. I'm done. I'm done with football for now because it's just another year. My team sucks. Lid sent me an email for all of my, business this year. They sent me a thank you. I'm done with them. Okay. Like, I'm done. I hate it. Like, my basketball team is terrible. I just hate sports. Like, this is the time of the year where I feel like guys like me, this doesn't happen if you're a theater fan, right? I just go see the shows. The shows happen. I come home, maybe I start a blog. Okay. Maybe that's where I need to go, Cam.
I think fandom's a weird thing because I talk about this because I have a little daughter now. She's 15 months. And so naturally, I try to have her root for the teams I root for. And I had a dilemma with myself. I grew up Philly sports fan. So I grew up rooting for the Eagles, the Phillies, all these different elements. And the Eagles held it down. They won a Super Bowl for me 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they haven't done much good. And so it was after a recent Eagles loss this year. And I sat down and thought, am I doing the right thing as a dad? Pushing my daughter to live this life that I've lived? Or should I just let her be free? Is fandom really worth it? Like,
no.
Money and time and anger that I spend in my life, does it outweigh the joy that I get occasionally? Probably not. But it's too late for me. It's not too late for my daughter. I probably should let her go. So we're not all as lucky as if you grew up a New England Patriot fan with Tom Brady and you love him. You're thinking that football is awesome. You win all the time. You won 6 rings. Even if you're a Bucs fan, you know, he's won a ring here. You're winning here. Most of us do not have the constant joy. Most of us, it's 1 year, if you're an Eagles fan like me, or like you, Dolphins fan, or a Lions fan.
No, come on, man. What are you doing?
A Bengals fan, where you don't win, and it's just misery. So I think that there's something about fandom that we love, but I don't know if I want that for my kids.
Okay. Yeah, no, like from a young age, like I was forced into this.
Yeah.
Okay, like Tom Brady has been a part of my life for nearly my entire life.
Yeah. That's a bad luck of the draw. Any other era, you would have been happy in the Dolphins-Patriot relationship. The Dolphins have been whooping the Patriots for years and years. You just happen to be born in this era when Tom Brady was around.
Let me just go ahead and describe my life as a Dolphins fan. Anytime something goes wrong, Twitter, 1972, 17-0, suck it. And then some guy's going to come by and he's going to be, oh, you weren't even alive. And I'll be like, doesn't matter. Still happened. Muted. And then they're done. That's my life in a tweet. Yeah, that is literally my life in a tweet. And it sucks. All right. Before we wrap up, we're going to do a little fun segment. 5 things, this or that. Easy.
Got you.
Is Snickers, would you rather have a cold Snickers, a warm Snickers, or no Snickers at all?
Cold Snickers.
Sucks. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Snickers bar is the most overrated candy bar in the history of candy bars. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't understand it. It's terrible. It's a terrible candy bar.
Kit Kat is the most overrated.
No, man. One of the greatest, honestly, one of the greatest anthems of all time. We talked about Sierra earlier, but give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Oh, my goodness. I can never eat. I can eat a Kit Kat bar the rest of my life and be perfectly fine.
Terrible. All right. So if you're at the grocery store and you see all the candy bars next to the checkout line, where are you going?
I actually don't eat a lot of candy. I probably would go. It's probably a bad answer, but I probably would go like Skittles. I'd probably be a Skittles guy.
I mean, it's fine.
It's fine.
I don't know. I think you might be the first person ever because I ask these questions to every single person that comes on the show. Skittles might be a first for me.
Skittles is the first?
Well, I had my dad, and I asked him on once, and he said a Heath bar, and I almost threw him off the show.
A Heath bar?
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah,
I actually don't think I've ever had a Heath bar in my life.
They're terrible. You know what they do? They break your teeth, and they taste disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay. This or that, greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? Where are you going?
My favorite to watch was Peyton Manning, but I have to admit that Tom Brady has been more successful, so I have to give it to Tom Brady. And I know it pains you, it pains me, but Tom Brady's the right answer.
MJ or LeBron?
MJ. I'm an MJ guy.
Okay.
I'm an MJ guy. I know as a young guy, I'm supposed to be a LeBron guy because he's my era.
No.
I think LeBron's the greatest athlete to ever play. MJ's the greatest player to ever play. There's a difference to me.
Better athlete than Dan Marino? Jay Fiedler?
Yes.
No? Okay. Okay. No, I got to give credit. I got to talk about my boy Jay Fiedler. All right. He's in the all-time greatest Jewish athlete of all time. Him, Amari Stoudemire. I got to give my props there.
Exactly. Both Miami legends.
Well, I mean, Cam, all right, you're coming back up. I will never forgive LeBron James for remaking Space Jam, ever.
Yeah. It was awful.
You didn't like it? I didn't see
the new one.
Yeah, you saw the new one or no?
Yes. You liked it?
No, it's terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah,
sucked.
it was awful.
I will never forgive him for that.
Yeah, the original Space Jam should have left how it was.
Best pizza in the city of Houston.
Oh, best pizza in Houston. That's a good question.
Ken, this is what we do here. All right.
It's been a while since I've had pizza from Houston, actually.
You got Star Pizza. You got Frank's Pizza downtown. You got Barry's Pizza. May they rest in peace. You got Grimaldi's Pizzeria. You got Brothers Pizza. You got Gotham Pizza.
Yeah, I think
Bolo Pizza. We're getting from the audience.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Bolo's. I think Frank's. I think I was a big fan of Frank's, honestly.
Oh, Frank's is great.
I think Frank's was really good for me. I'm trying to think if I had another favorite. It's been a while, but I know I did really like Frank's. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but Frank's was definitely top 2 or 3 for me.
Listen, someone coming in here talking about Domino's. Terrible
Domino's.
Okay, fast food pizza. Where are you going?
I'm a Pizza Hut guy. Short story for me for Pizza Hut. I actually was in a Pizza Hut commercial when I was in high school. I worked there. That was my first physical job. I was in a Pizza Hut commercial, initially supposed to be an extra. The person who actually had a speaking role in the show was taking too long in the dressing room. The director said he didn't want to wait on him. I volunteered to do it, and then I was introduced in the cast. I think I may have said like 3 words, like it's Toscani Tuesday or something like that on one of the promotions. But they paid me a grip of money, and it was a day free of school. And so to this day, Pizza Hut's going to continue to get residuals from me, for me going to get it when I get a fast food spot.
I'm going to tell you this. Mine's not as cool as that, but I did make Yahoo Sports when I was at U of H.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick U of H story. When they 2009, when they were playing Southern Miss in the conference title game, I made the genius decision to go get the letters BCS etched into the side of my head. Front row.
Yeah.
We end up getting our butts kicked.
Oh.
I wake up the next day to 12 emails. Yahoo Sports wrote a story about how sad it must have been to be me, number one.
Yeah.
How bad I should have worn a hat if I went out that night.
Right.
The worst part of this story is that for Hanukkah that year, my parents thought it would be funny to print the story, laminate the story, and give it to me as a gift in a full-fledged lamination.
Yeah. Wow. That's cruel and unusual punishment there.
It is.
But it also sounds like parents who have a great sense of humor. And I'm sure that I don't know if that you got the laughs out of it, but I'm sure they did.
No, I didn't. No one got that. And it's hanging in the man cave. I still think it's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it is.
Mr. Wolfe, thank you for coming on, man. We have fun.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for having me. It's fun. I do a lot of these interviews, and a lot of them are stiff. So I like to have a good time, man. I'm glad we were able to talk football, talk U of H, talk Houston, and have a good time.
Hey, rest in peace to China Star. Okay,
yes.
I'm glad.
Is it gone?
Oh, it's gone. They leveled it a few years ago.
Oh, man.
So today what we do is we pour one out.
Yes.
Okay. Yingling, whatever,
I finished my bourbon. I have to get more.
Well, you know what? The next time you come on the show, you pour a bigger glass. But I feel like we needed to have a moment of silence for him. I didn't think you woke up today thinking you were going to talk China Star on a podcast, but here we are. Okay. They deserve, first of all, someone needs to bring it back. Okay.
They have to.
Well, listen, between you and I, when U of H makes the playoff next year, oh, congrats, Georgia, ooh, Alabama. Next year, watch out for my boys. Our boys, America's boys,
it's time.
The University of Houston. The alma mater will be playing throughout the streets. Yes. Large sirens with womp womp driving around the H, celebrating us making the playoff next year.
And I'll make sure I'll be there for that.
Listen, you come in, I'll make you the grand marshal of the Beer Sports Whatever parade. This has been episode 175 of Beer Sports Whatever. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to Cameron Wolfe, University of Houston legend. I will go ahead and call it now. Okay. Best of luck. Let people know where can they find you, where they can find your work. I'm sure we have thousands of new fans wanting to follow you on the Twitter.
Appreciate you, Mike. Media. Yeah, at Cameron Wolfe's. Cameron, Cameron, Wolf, E at the end. Got to get the E at the end of the Wolf like that. I'm on NFL Network. I'm a TV reporter, so you usually see me during the week. I'll be on tomorrow on Thursday from 1 to 3 on NFL Network, and then you also see me on game weekends as well. So definitely check out my work. I talk a lot of NFL, a lot more serious than we did talk here, but I think it's worth your time.
Listen, let me tell you, this was serious work. Okay, a lot of show prep goes into this. I went out and bought all of this stuff just for the show today. I hope you know that, Mr. Wolfe. Cam, thank you so much. Look forward to hopefully doing it again in the future.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, man.
My man, have a good week.
All right.